The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 330 of the Heart of LAC podcast. For this one, we're going to call it Tuning Up as we fine tune for another season, get you all ready, and move forward. Of course, it's been over a month since we've been on air. We are happy to be back. We've got Tony, we've got Araceli, and Bam at some point will be joining us later in the episode. Of course, there's been a lot of news since we've been off and a lot of things happening. And so we're gonna get you caught up as best we can. Try to get through this. Hear from you guys, of course, as well. We can't wait to hear from you guys. Comments, madness, it's all highly encouraged on this show. Because we want to hear from you. Want to hear how you're feeling, because it has really been an emotional roller coaster ever since MLS Cup final, seeing who's going, who's staying. It's gonna look like a very different team going into this. Of course, let's get moving with it. Araceli, how are you doing today?
I'm actually doing very well. I'm glad that, we're finally back after a month of rest. I'm just ready to get this season going again, to be honest. The off season, preseason always feels the longest.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of an extended one for me. I know there's been illness and all that stuff, so it took me a little while to get back up in shape to actually do one of these bad boys, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm alive. I'm breathing. It's all good. Um, Tony, how are you doing, sir? I know for you it's been a long off season as well.
I'm doing pretty well, just training a lot and getting ready for taking this long rest that we've needed after that long season of ours. But it's been doing pretty well. Excited to talk about the rumors, the new signees, and potential and the departures, especially one a-hole.
The amount of movement is crazy, and it's almost looking like 2019 all over again, where we're gonna have to just get used to who's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that guy again? What's that guy doing? Like, where do we fit now? How does this puzzle work? I mean, up until this week, it's been a lot of dread. I fear, we hear from everybody because so many faces have left without the good news after. But hey, John Thornton, I think, laid it out pretty well in his presser that he did. Is the process, right? And where we're at and how hard it is to get people in such a short amount of time. But let's be honest, looking at the arrivals and departures, it ain't so bad, and things will get better. So let's just get right into that, because I think that is our story today for the most part. Of course, we are going to cover the preseason schedule, some key dates to look at as well. But let's just get right to it. What we want to talk about, the arrivals and departures. Of course, who's out? That is a huge story. We've got Acosta heading possibly to Chicago or Colorado. There's a lot of MLS teams kicking the tires. We just know it ain't going to be here. So Acosta on his way. Palacios, of course, free agent, takes off. Going to make his money he needs to make. Too bad we couldn't get anything out of that one, but he's on his way. Max, of course, going to the rivals in Portland. Yeah, that hurts a bit. I ain't gonna lie. We love Max here. He's been a great ambassador for the club. He sacrificed for this club. And it is going to be weird seeing him in those colors. Even weirder, of course, would be McTrader going over to Carson. Who does that? I guess he does, and I'll just leave it at that. Then there's Jakupovic, of course. Who was that guy? Yeah, he's on his way too. Buke getting loaned. In truth, I think everybody's a little bit happy about that one. Him probably the most. What fits best. I think this is probably going to be it. Now that's a loan deal, so he could end up back in our house. But it's, hopefully a loan to sell. The other thing is Krastev, of course. That's one I think that hurts too. I'll just put it out there. The money that was required to keep him was, of course, way too high. If it was something a little more manageable, I think we would have kept him. But yeah, he is on his way. We have Torres. That one hurts because he's been one of our kids. Maldonado, Mario Gonzalez. Are there any others, Tony? I swear there's more, but that's a lot of movement.
I believe that's it. Let's see. Chiellini retiring, of course.
Yeah, of course. We're retiring.
Let's see. Chiellini, trying to remember, because mostly our back line was up front, and then
Yeah,
Up
keep them all
front, there was like Boanga, there was the Boanga, like kind of if he's coming back, if he's not, like that was like iffy, but unfortunately, that finally kind of like Tony Leone. Yes, thank you very much, Augie.
That's the one. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that
knew there was
it.
one of the kids. That was the
Yeah,
one. And of course the
so, yeah,
Vela
but
drama, right? The Vela
y-
novella.
yeah.
Um, you know, will he go? Will he want? Will he not? I'm gonna throw this over to you, Tony, because I think you know where I'm gonna stand. Your thoughts? Should we make a move on him? Should we just let him go and move on and go with these youngsters that we're bringing in? Where's your head on this one?
Honestly, if the money is right, if we can keep him for the right amount of money, like yeah, but it's not going to be for a DP spot. He's not playing like that. I know the rumors for him is either to go back to Spain, and he was talking with Real Soledad, if I remember
Yeah.
right. And then, of course, the other rumors is making the dream partnership that everybody wants in Chivas. But the other rumor is him going to America as well. So those were the other ones. And then there was the weird rumor of him going to Carson, which I don't believe why people actually thought that was going to be a thing.
I mean, they're not above that. Let's be dead honest.
Yeah, but
If
I
they
feel.
could afford him, if they could afford him and it fit the budget, you know they would pull the trigger.
Mhm. And
The
then
spite is real. The logic is not. But the
true.
spite is definitely real. I
Also
think
New
they
York,
would if they could. Mhm.
yeah, also New York was the other one. New York FC was the other one where he was
Ye
supposedly rumors in talks with.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. If I was gonna play crystal ball, um, I really do think that maybe Guadalajara is gonna be the one. It sounds weird and odd, but it's where he got his start. You'd have a weird reunion over there. It might make sense, if he doesn't end up here. I'm still hoping somehow, some way they come to a magic number and agree, but it really sounds like it's not that close. We wouldn't be making the moves we're making now, which we'll talk about next, because those moves do suggest that we're kind of moving on here.
Mhm.
And the rumors that are also floating around suggest that we're moving on. I can't think of it any other way. I go to you, Araceli. Um, if you were going to predict the Vela where he'd be in a month from now, where do you think he's headed?
I'm gonna take a little bit of a hot take here and say go ahead and sell him to Chivas or even America or some or another team because yes, Carlos has done a lot for the club. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and he's been a huge name not only for the newcomers but for the community and just all aspects of the club. But as the years have gone on, he's to me at least, it seems like he's just been playing less and less. And if we're able to fill his position with a more secured player, then I say go ahead and just move on from him. Obviously, we'll miss
Yeah,
him, but the unfortunate reality is that we need somebody else.
right. And the hardest part, I got to be honest, right now, is the marketability, the selling of the shirts, right? What can you make money off of? Vela's name will always sell, right? He's a legend. The new kids coming or not, that's one of those obscure jersey purchases, right? You do it because you're a hardcore fan, but not a rando, right? Not just hey off the street. I want to get one of those Vela jerseys. That's what you would hear. But you're gonna see that with one of the kids? No, you're not. So there's that star power issue that we're dealing with, and let's be real, you don't do that for goalkeepers. Like you don't. So it's one of those things where the trade off is the worst part of it all. You will take a hit on that, but again, in terms of competitive football, and we have to think football first, you got to let the man go and make his money. As long as it's not in MLS, that's my biggest hope is go elsewhere. I don't want to face this guy in our own league. If it's League's Cup, that's kind of cool. Okay, we could take it that way. But in league, nah, that would be a weird end for sure. For sure. All right. Outside of that, of course, we have the new faces coming in. The big name, of course, was Hugo Lloris. I know we're late to talk about it, but we're here, people. It sounds like fun if he can still play, if he can still bring it. We don't know that because he hasn't had regular play for a while here, except, looking pretty good in the World Cup not too long ago, right? Yeah. Uh, he is who he is. I expect him to jump in and be fine. I don't think any other way on it. I think he'll be fine for us. I do think the way he prefers his game actually fits our system better than the keepers we've had before. You're like, what? He's more mobile. He tries to be at least. He tries to play with his feet at times. Sometimes it gets a little funky, but he seems more comfortable than others. I'll leave it at that. Tony, you're kind of laughing over there. Chime in, man. Thoughts on Hugo?
Good goalkeeper. We got him doesn't take a DP spot, which is kind of that's not really unheard of that a goalkeeper doesn't take a DP spot, but he kind of warrants it, but we didn't get him from that. World Cup champion, of course, as you said, coming, but can he win titles is the bigger question besides the World Cup. Tottenham is not known for anything like that. Sorry, it's the truth. Sorry, we got to keep the facts on that one. But he is good. But he is that fiery leadership in the back that we need with the departures of Max, who was the other leader, like similar to him, but he's the same one. So, and very French. So Bouanga and him communicate really well. So maybe this could lead into, as I jokingly said, I forgot like months ago, maybe Arsenal 2.0, when during their invincible era, they had all the French stars on the
I
team.
mean, he might want to bring some friends, right?
Mhm.
We all like to have friends around. Never hurt anybody to have some friends around, especially ones that could bang 25 goals in a year. Who knows? But hey, I'll say this. I know we make fun of him because all the losses at Tottenham, and he didn't lose as many as us in a single year, though. Okay, but he did win the big chip, and that's right there. And I mean, the hardest one to win, he won. Facts. I know. Yes, his team was stacked, but it's still that tournament, and anything goes. I'm happy he's here. We'll see what happens. The other interesting moves, of course, was Lorenzo De Avalle. Let me get that right. Again, he's the Chiellini understudy, is what he is. He is a prospect. Let's be dead honest with that. Knowing what our backline currently is, he's training into this thing. Okay, he could steal it. You never know. But he does get the promotion from LAFC 2 into the main squad. Does that not mean he's going to play for LAFC 2 again? Oh no, he's probably going to play for them again. But he's a project player. That is what he is. We also, of course, have Omar Campos that came in from Liga MX. I think this is a killer deal for us. It's instant impact, instant starter. He answers our question for Palacios, like for like, except that I think Campos is more of a known name than Palacios was when we got Palacios. I think I can be fair in saying this, that he is a more known entity than Palacios was when he entered the room. So that should be interesting. We'll see how he matches in, but I think it's another good fit for us. Of course, there's Tomas Angel, which I'm just loving this whole Juan Pablo Angel bringing his son to the side. Like, if you're gonna put your money where your mouth is as a scout, your own kid, that's a good one. That's a good one. And if anybody knows Juan Pablo Angel and the royalty that he is in MLS, and what he's done for us already, finding us some amazing players, I think we're gonna have a good time with his son. I know he's young, but seeing what he did at the under 20s, right? The production he's already showing, I think we've got a player with some fireworks here, and he's very, very young. I'm going to run to you, Araceli. Thoughts on Tomas Angel? Are you excited as I am to see what he's going to bring to this team?
I'll be honest, I don't really have that much of an opinion on him because I haven't really been following his career. But given what I've seen so far and what you've just said, it sounds very promising. So I'm definitely very excited to see what he can bring to the squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doesn't play exactly like his pops did, right? He's a different type of player. Uh, but the finish is it's there. There is quality there. There is performance under pressure there that we could have definitely used in Columbus not too long ago, even though he is young. So I'll throw it over to you, Tony. Your thoughts on Hill? Project player? Do you think he's going to make an impact already this year?
Um, at the moment right now, project player. The only reason I say project player and like is because most players do not live up to a legend's father is the best way to say it. It's very rare. You can go down the line and usually it's going to be not everyone expects like that player to be the kid, but unfortunately he doesn't play the same position or he won't play, sometimes he don't play the same position or they're not have the same like fight or like hunger because it's like a little bit easier is the best way to say it. So project player for sure. And with a lot of upsides.
This season, because of our schedule not being as complicated, these kids are probably going to get playtime out of this, right? Because the cost of these matches aren't as high as what we were dealing with last year, right? So you could rotate a little more. The other name, of course, just popped up, and that is, of course, Daniel Martinez, another youth player who kind of made Brazil look silly. You saw the highlights. Again, this is a developmental player all the way, but with a massive upside and interest from abroad. This is a competitive signing. It is a statement signing that we are making here and putting a lot of money into a young player. I think is an impressive move by our side to do this, knowing who was also competing for him. It's a pretty big deal. I think Tony, you'd probably be just as excited as I am on this one here because I think the pot's right on this move. There we go. Tony's giving us a thumbs up. Looks like a little technical stuff there. So we'll move on from that. Of course, the other two names that are currently being connected to us, and it's sounding like one's kind of a done deal, of course, would be our old friend, Mr. Atuesta. And I could definitely give this one over to Araceli. Thoughts on Atuesta?
I would love to see him back. He needs to come back because everything that he's given us before he left, that there's no replacing him, honestly. And seeing the rumors that it looks like it's going to be a done deal definitely gets me very excited for it.
Right, right. I mean, it's Atuesta. Like it's something where he comes in, we know exactly what we want from him. He knows exactly what we want from the way we play the game here, right? What Thorrington is looking for in his football. Atuesta doesn't have to do much here. He knows where he fits in. It will be an interesting dynamic with him and Ilie and how that is going to work. I will say this. The greatest news for Ilie to have him come in because Ilie can actually get rest now and not play every freaking game because they can interchange, which is nice to have a player with that ability to hold that role. It's huge news for Ilie. This doesn't mean he's moving on. I think they're going to be together out there. I think that just makes perfect sense. Um, Adds a little pressure to guys like Tillman and Bogusz, though I must admit. It's good competition, though. Very good competition to have him coming in. I think we were talking off air, Araceli, about potential injury situation for Atuesta and maybe what we're getting. Are you concerned about that?
I mean, when it comes to injuries, naturally, always a big concern. But with Atuesta, if I'm really hoping that he's not injured, but if he is, hopefully it's not like a Segura situation where we lost him for the entire season before he even had a chance to really come back per se.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing is he did face some adversity, right? And from what I understood, he's not quite the same as he was because of the process of getting back into it. Quality is still there though. And so
Oh,
we'll
100%.
come back, that's for sure. I don't think he's coming in injured. It's just the game is a little different, right?
Mhm.
After injury like that. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening there. Of course, the other name was Origi that popped up, another striker, another attacker. Had his big moments, ups and downs, kind of moved around a lot. I know Tony wanted to jump in on him. because there's kind of a mixed bag vibe. Again, the upside is huge, but then we see the potential pitfalls, and we definitely don't want another pistolero situation here. And I know that was Tony's big concern, is could this be another case where, he kind of comes in as the mercenary, does what he does and moves on again, because it just didn't quite work out again. I'm more of the gambling type. I will say this now. Knowing what he can do and what he's capable of, this could be the perfect environment to inspire him to do more. So that will be my take on that. Um, I think we got Tony. We're going to try Tony. Here we go. There he is. Tony back. All right, Tony. We got into Mr. Origi. Your thoughts on him, sir? You ready?
The striker from Nottingham. He is a cause for concern, to be honest. I know people are like, "Ooh, a new striker. Look at the highlights," but he's the best way to say it, Mario Gonzalez. Cautionary tale, because he hasn't done anything. He's very inconsistent. He's like, again, look at how many teams he's been with, and he hasn't just found a spot and out on loan, and still can't break even the starting or get slipped in that much, and doesn't do anything. I have very much concern. Of course, he did have a great goal at one time, but that's about it.
That's years ago, though, right? I
Mhm.
mean, time flies. So yeah, again, he's a gamble. He's a project. We'll see where that goes. Of course, there are some trialists on the team, and there's one that I'm just not even going to talk about because I don't expect him to sign with us, and I'm not going to waste my breath. So there's that. Uh, you know who I'm talking about without me talking about it. So there you go. So that's where we're at right now. Current roster, again, building but looking strong. Honestly, we've solved some big stuff. There's still some more we need. We still need, I gotta be honest, that number 9, right? I mean, we brought the youngsters in, but I think we still want that guy, And there is space, as Tony mentioned, right? We've got DP slots available. A move can still happen. The question is, will that move happen now? Will that move happen in the summer? Right? What gets you the best deal? What are we going to settle on? So we don't know. The DP slot that we can play with is there. The young DP slot, we'll see there as well, because the rumors kind of connect the dots there. So yes, that is where it's at. Now, before we get into comments from you guys, we definitely want to talk a little bit about the preseason schedule and what to expect, because guess what? The Coachella Invitational is upon us. So Tony, I'm going to throw this one over to you, sir. How's preseason going, man?
We're on a loss. That's the best way to say it. But again, we didn't have a full roster or even Bouanga playing. We lost to a Denmark team 3-1. Again, warm-up match match of the season. So we're still doing a lot of trialist runs on who's going to be here and who's going to be there. And so nothing cause for concern, of course. Like, you know what I mean? We're both, that team's trying out was more of like, I believe, in like a fun kind of game. So as it should be. And then we have 3 preseason games, which of course is going to be in Coachella and one to be announced.
Yeah, so we've got St. Louis, right? Is that this
Mhm.
weekend?
Yes.
No, that was
Oh no, next weekend.
and you
Sorry,
got
February 7th.
next weekend. Like, we're already there. Yeah, so you got St. Louis and then you got Chicago, correct?
Which is February
Okay.
11th against Coachella as well. And then we have
then
Toronto, which might be a open invitation to the stadium for BMO. But to be announced.
Speaking of BMO, I know it's going to come out in the comments. We'll leave it for the guys to talk about. We'll jump into it at that point. But that's the schedule that we got so far. And of course, opening day coming quickly, February 24th, 1:30 p.m. kickoff against the new look Seattle Sounders. I can actually say that now with all those faces moving everywhere. And a new logo. Yeah, that too. Against the new look Sounders. Really interesting to see what they're going to come up with. A day game, folks. A good time slot, a good day to do a game. Yeah, February 24th. It is coming up quickly. So that is where we're at. That is what we're leading to. I'm sure a lot more announcements in the lead up towards that. All right, let's jump right into community news for Tony as well. What you got, man?
Nothing in community news at the moment for that I found. Again, it's very dry. I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of actually, well, mostly the things that are coming up, of course, is I saw two, which is the meet and greet for Pride Republic and then also Crew as well. I will give you more details and post on our socials about it, but this is a great chance to check out some new social supporter groups if you want to get into the 3252. Pride is a really cool, supporter group as well as Crew. So those are two options. And then, of course, Lucky's, Black Army, and everybody else will be announcing their meet and greets sooner as the season is slowly but surely getting started.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, keep your keep yourselves abridged to the info. Of course, we're going to name stuff as well and call things out each week in the lead up as they set up their events. Also, with 3252 memberships on the horizon as well. When they become officially announced, we will tell you that too. Again, we don't want to tap our own people here. Got to give them that chance to get ready. So that too. All right. So seeing who we signed this week, I know it was fun. I decided to have a little fun with the Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. 2 albums, 1 song. I'll just throw it out there like that. We've got 2 artists. We got the original song and the cover. So we're going to go with Send Me an Angel. What else would it be, right? With On Hill Coming. Of course, Real Life, an Australian band in 1983, released the song originally on their Heartland album. And then my favorite cover is actually from Highly Suspect, from their 2016 album, The Boy Who Died Wolf, doing Send Me an Angel. And no, we're not confusing it with the song from the Scorpions. Theirs is completely different. But this one, we like this one. And so that's going to be our Vinyl Club Minute song, Send Me an Angel, for very obvious reasons. All right. I know we've been waiting. We've kind of delayed it a bit, but it is time. It is time for you guys to join the conversation. We want to get your reactions because there's been a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. And I see there's about 26 comments already. So we're going to jump into this. Again, we've missed you guys. It's been a while. We've had a lot of recovery to get through. But once again, we are all together. All right, we've got first in the mix. It's Jibble. There it is. He is ready for the new season. He says, "Can't wait to enjoy the journey with everyone." Here we go. Dave, love you, Dave. Nice to see that you are back, sir. Hell yeah, exactly. Burke in the mix. Yep, the family is back. Soccer USA on as well. Says caught it by chance. Didn't know you're doing one. Yeah, man, it has been so. We were gonna do it last week. We were gonna do it the week before. It's been touch and go. I haven't had a voice to use, and some days it's good, some days it's bad. The last few times we've tried to have some sort of a lift off, you weren't going to hear my voice. I mean, it was that rough. And even today, you can kind of hear it's a little hoarse. But you know what? It's too much going on. We can't stay away. So we're back. We are back. Dave says he loves the new signings. I do too. I think going as young as we're going is the smart move, the right move. We don't want to get slaughtered with a bunch of old farts in a far off land. We don't. That's not our vibe. No, we're competitive. We're young. That's what we're gonna do. That's what the future of this league should be. Julio Cepeda Jr. says a lot of turnover. It is. I'm not gonna call it a rebuild though. It's not a rebuild. It's a retool. Why? Your most important core players, as far as I'm concerned, are still here. You have your leading scorer. You have your midfield leader, right? Your backline is for the most part intact. And where we have put in new faces, they're kind of, goalkeeper's an improvement. Last time I checked, if Atuesta's coming back, that's an improvement from what we had before. I'll say it straight up. That's an improvement. I think the faces coming in are better. It's not like they're just young prospects that. No, the names are these are going to prove to be better. So it's a retool for me. I know it's a lot of change. It is. Anthony Bernier asking, do y'all think Vela resigns? I don't, man. I hate saying it, but I don't. I don't see it right now. Unless he takes the cut, right? If he gets desperate and he goes, fine, I'll stay. Then we get lucky. Marvin Chavez says, what's up? So nice to finally have a pod back. Yeah, man. Again, it would have been quicker, but life is life, dude. But I'm getting better. Aguian, still 2 DB slots open, 1 senior, 1 youth. Right? I mean, the options, man. It's good. It's good. Dave Gomez, I trust the process, but it ain't fun. It's only brutal when the process is happening during matches, right? Thank goodness we didn't. And look at it this way, guys. That core of players, yes, we got an MLS Cup, but we also lost how many big games with that core? You kind of wrote it as far as you could. I think that's what we have to look at. And so something's got to be done. We weren't good enough to get those. We got to build back to it. Augie, thank you for mentioning Tony Leone. That's the one I missed on the list. All right. And he said, Dave Gomez, Fufu is in the Eredivisie, so now we'll catch the swallow matches. I think it's wild that Fufu's over there. I know I thought we were going to keep him for a little longer, but loan deals are loan deals. He'll be fun to watch over there. I mean, it's such an offensive, open-minded league. He's going to thrive. I don't see any other way there for him. It's good. It's good. Oh, Soccer USA says, I recall a rumor about Vela going to Australia. I think that was one that Bam created. I'm just going to leave it right there. I know. He'd have fun if he went over there. That's for sure. Could you imagine? That would be, well, I mean, for Vela, he's got that 1 year he wants to play, and we'll see. New assistant coach. Okay, so the new assistant coach that's actually going to coach LAFC 2. I think this is fresh news. Araceli, did you hear about that update?
I did. Enrique Duran is the new assistant coach for LAFC. So LAFC 2 currently does not have a head coach, nor do they have a goalkeeper coach. And while we're on the subject of LAFC 2 very quickly, they've had just as much movement as the first team has had with so far Yukisan Suba, excuse my mispronunciation. He left LAFC 2 for Carolina Core, which is a new MLS Next Pro team that will premiere this season. And of course, we went over Lorenzo's move, which, let's be honest, we already kind of knew with his signing. That was the original intent for him to begin with the secondary team to be then moved up to the first team. But in regards to Enrique Duran, he was the head coach for LAFC 2 last season. And for him to be the new assistant coach isn't really new in the sense that he was previously Sharundalo's assistant coach when they were both with the Las Vegas Lights. So I'm curious to see what his role is going to be with the first team. But in regards to LAFC 2, I believe the current rumor is Junior Gonzalez is leaving Chicago for that role. It's not officially confirmed yet, but that it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, to say the least. And believe me, I've definitely been looking for any information I can get, but just like the first team, LAC 2 is just as quiet.
Yeah, it's there, and it's not there until it's there. You know, that's the LAFC way. You've seen how this week went. I mean, the chatter wasn't there until it was right on top of us. We'll see if it's going to be Junior Gonzalez. I mean, the results last year were abysmal, so why not? Why not? It couldn't hurt, right, Araceli, to make the change.
It couldn't hurt, but in all fairness, with everything going on with LAFC last season, you can't really blame it too much on the kids. But that's just my own opinion.
Hey, they got an Open Cup win. Give them credit for something.
Better
It
than
is
nothing,
what
I
it is.
guess.
Yeah. So again, developing when it gets confirmed, we'll confirmed. Thank you, Araceli, for that. Augie says, talking about Vela, his wife probably won't want to leave LA. So that's the thing. I mean, they seem very happy here, but you aren't gonna do it for $1.50, you know? And if she gets to go back to Spain, I don't think she's gonna complain about that either. And I don't know, anywhere is pretty good if you can afford it, right? I mean, that's how life goes. So we'll see what happens there. Soccer USA says Vela can play at Orange County with their 1,000 plus owners. Yes. The community-owned team of Orange County. They might have the money. Who knows? Soccer USA says Mario and Loris conversing will be hilarious. Should be fun. Should be fun. I'm sure Chiellini will be the translator because it's Chiellini and he knows everything. So that should be fun. Ox, I see you on here, man. I know we're back, sir. We're back. Snuck in, but we are back. Soccer USA says, I'm okay with the Origi signing not working out if we get Benzema, Giroud, Griezmann next season. Who knows, right? I mean, somebody's going to come along. You get the feeling something's up. That's for sure. That's for sure. Dave Gomez said Hugo had options but wanted to come to LA. I like him. There you go. I think he's a marketable dude. Again, goalkeepers don't sell a lot of jerseys. We know this, but still, he's a good face for the franchise. So I'm looking forward to it too. Augie says we could have had Lloris last summer per Thorington, so there you go. And I guess apparently we had this long kick of the tires situation where we're kind of watching him for a while. Again, the long game, and we're happy to make the move. So again, it's a steal for what we got him for. Sorry, USA says also kudos to JT for piecing together what seems to be a fantastic offseason without the assistance of Garces and Kuntz from last year. I mean, I know Garces departed, but he didn't depart that long ago, and he is a part of the committee, so I'm sure he had some say in the process before his departure. Kuntz, yeah, he's out there. But yeah, I think Garces still has some fingerprints here, guys. Soccer USA, did Lloris give up the goal that gave Argentina the World Cup win? I mean, somebody has to, right? It is. It is how it works. Yeah. Oh yeah. Soccer USA, do we still have Pancho Janela on loan? I think we do. I know. Something happened there. Augie says Origi is almost 29. Yeah, not on the wrong side of 30 yet. A 1-year deal or something, But we'll see. We'll see there. I think we're gambling. Yes, we are gambling. Mr. Gomez says, well, 1 DP, 1 young DP spot left only. Yeah. Unless some other things happen, right? Soccer USA says any chance or songs you should expect to hear this season? I can guarantee something new is going to come up. Can I say what it is? That is not my place to say. Again, let the guys hitting those drums introduce things to you. I'll leave it at that. We'll talk about this one though. Soccer USA on thoughts on Grasshoppers. Okay, I will. That club was struggling. It is a huge source of talent if you can make things work. The location can't be beat. Our friends at Bayern can't be complaining, I'll tell you that much. It definitely fits the red and gold initiative. And they were in dire straits. So I think for us, it was a smart move. The process looks proper. We'll see what comes of it. But knowing where they were at and what they can be, what they're potentially going to be, is something special. The other thing you have to understand is they're kind of homeless right now. They're like, what? So they're sharing a stadium right now. They're not in their old stadium and want to go back to it. And I guess by us buying into that, we're going to help them in that process. So we could be in the stadium purchasing rebuilding phase as well, which adds value last time I checked. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Jose Bernal says, hello there. What's the percentage of us making the playoffs this coming season? I wouldn't be talking about making playoffs. I'd be talking about how far in the playoffs, in all honesty. I think we're fine. Looking from the back to the front and how we're built, we're pretty secure, especially if Atuesta is healthy and ready to go. I think we're doing pretty good. Bogusz gets his chance to shine. Some of the youngsters get their chance to shine. I think we're fine. I do. Ox is heading out because where he's in the same time zone as Araceli, who is totally working this out. Do you see that, Ox? But Ox is heading to bed. So good night, Ox. All love to you, sir, man. We miss you out here. That's for certain, dude. But take care, brother, and we will see you soon. So there's our comments. That's what we got, guys. I got any more to throw out there? Throw it out there now because we are towards the tail end of our show here. But yes, lots of changes, more changes to come. Good times, that's for sure. Tony, you want to add anything from the comments that you've seen so far?
Just the Tony Leone, to Monterrey. Hope he develops there and does well. Great talent, and they got a great talent. Is a great young talent. So hopefully that pans out for him.
Well, it's gonna hurt because I think both Leone and Torres are gonna actually take off where they went and do well. So it's kind of like, man, kind of let those two get away. But were the opportunities there? Here, probably not. Guess who just jumped on right towards the tail end of the episode? We'll have him jump on for just a moment to add a few comments in here before we wrap things up tonight. Bam, you caught us right at the tail end of the fan comments. And, of course, that Vela rumor at Australia. Welcome on, Bam. How you doing?
I am absolutely wrecked. I just done 3 hours of OT trying to clear a stormwater drain, and it's crazy.
But you somehow found a way to come on air now and show your love for the faithful. Good stuff.
Always show love for the faithful. Yeah, I wish I could be on better times at the moment, but at the moment, this is all I can do. And going forward this year, this is how I'll probably end up doing most of them. Finishing work and then driving and talking to you all. But I will try and get on every episode as I can.
Yeah, so Bam, as he just said, is a big transition career-wise. All love for Bam. Still sticking it out for us. So, yeah, things are going to be touch and go for Bam coming on air. But as you know, the minute he pops on, we're popping him on. So, Bam, since I got you now, impressions of the signings this week and the departures, where are you feeling? Where's the vibe for you currently with the roster?
At the moment, it's a bit up in the air. Like, the way I look at it is, in the past, we've had some great ones like Dennis Bwonga. We also had some Marios. Let's give them time, see how they develop, and see if we have another Denis or another Mario.
Ooh, gamble, right?
Exactly.
But you got to gamble to succeed, correct?
100%. And I like that we're going with youth heavy too. This youth thing will be great because we can always look at future sell-on to get more money for other players.
Yeah, I mean, the resale value for these guys is already high. Now that we've got them, there's still demand there. It's pretty wild on the upside of all these players and where the value should be going, the trajectory. It's going to make us some bank if these guys can pan out. That's for sure. Even just show some growth, they're still going to pan out for us. So it's pretty good
exactly.
news. Pretty good news.
Exactly. But we'll see how it all goes.
All right, Vela to Australia. Is this thing still real, dude?
Nah.
Didn't think so.
No club in Australia's got the money for him. No club in Australia's got the money for him.
There it is. And also, where do you think Vela's going to go?
Into the sunset to have a happy retirement.
No signing anywhere. You think he's just going to walk away?
Yep. Watch him.
Wow.
Go to Austin. Watch him go to Austin as a youth development coach to be with his nephew.
Ooh, that's a weird one. Okay. What if he retires and comes back to us like Chiellini did?
I'll take it. I'll take it. The amount of footballing knowledge he has, you've got to take it.
Yep. We'll see where it goes. It's hard to watch, right? Because he's one of our legends, but I think the club is being smart in the way they're handling this. So you got to do what you got to do. All right, Bam. Any other? Oh, by the way, our song today was "Send Me an Angel" by Real Life. Sounds familiar?
Love it. Love that song.
And another Australian band, so we can't go wrong, can we?
Of course not.
All right. Anything else you want to add in before we take off tonight, Bam?
Well, as usual, checking on your mates, checking on your family. Conversations can save a life. And remember, it's okay to not be okay. We all go through it. We all get through it. And we can always be there for each other.
There it is. Thank you, Bam. And before we all sign off, I'm going to give you your chance to give the magic word today.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And there it is. Thank you, Bam. All right, let's do this sign out. Let's make this thing official, make this show, well, episode 330, putting it into the books. So, final comments, Araceli.
My final thoughts are simple. We're back. I'm excited. I can't wait for the season to start up again. And hopefully we don't have as many anxiety attacks as we did last year. So let's do this.
There we are. Tony, final thoughts?
New season coming up, so be prepared to, rest. Be happy for another season that we get to go watch and play and support, and that we get to be there at the stadium. And yeah, that's about it.
Back to it again, which leaves it to me. And I will just say this. Thank you guys for coming back on. We had a great turnout for tonight's episode. Minimal promotion on this one. Again, it was so touch and go with my voice and all the other madness. And of course, you see where Bam's at now. But we got the mission. We made it happen. And you guys still came out. So thank you guys so much for returning for another brilliant year of LAFC football. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes for sure. Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about the jersey rumors and the BMO on the front, but we'll save that for later when they actually debut this thing. Instead of just, tipping the hat on that one. We'll get you guys on that one. So on that note, it's those magic words. Araceli.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
For good measure, Bam.
Stay golden, everyone.
There he is. And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.